Hey guys, this is Claudia here from the Bookkeeping Experts. I'm back for more education on QuickBooks Online. And for those of you who are business owners, hey, we're approaching the end of the year, so it's time to make sure everything is ready for your accountant. Not only that, by the third quarter, you should be able to know exactly where you are as far as taxes go, and maybe do a few strategic things like, purchase an equipment that you need so that you can offset some of your taxes, or do some planning with your CPA. Very important, very important. But nevertheless, not the only reason why you want to keep your books up to date. The other reason, which is most important of all, not only saving on taxes, but also to be able to know where you are with your business, and where or what things you need to do in order to take it to the next level. So important to know your finances. I can't emphasize that enough, but I think you know. That's why you're watching this video today. So today we're going to talk about a little bit about cash transactions and undeposited funds. Why does it go to undeposited funds, and what to do with those transactions? So without much further ado, we're going to go on a slideshow, and then we're going to go to QuickBooks to dig into undeposited funds a little bit more. So thanks again for tuning in today, and here we go. Okay, here is our... Okay. All right. I'm going to cover, like I said, cash transactions with Square. All right. So when you are dealing with cash transactions in Square, it will tell you on the app transaction what kind of transaction you're dealing with. By the way, remember Square workflow. You first add the transaction from app transactions right here. So you click on banking, and then select app transactions. For review means those transactions still need to be entered, even though you have it integrated with QuickBooks. Unless you add those transactions, they're not going to be in your books. So you have to add here first, and then you got to go back into banking to be able to match them. Now, how do I know if the transaction is a cash transaction? Now, on the description, see here, it says cash card transactions. Those are credit cards. So you will find this amount in banking, should be the exact amount. Okay, now the second transaction, see where it says other transactions? Same thing here with the fourth transaction, says other transactions. Those are cash transactions, and once you accept them, once you add them, they're not going to go and match it in your banking. One, because usually that's not how business owners will work. Sometimes they deposit the exact amount, sometimes they don't. Most of the time they don't. Dealing with cash, sometimes you pay tips, or sometimes you pay bills. So it's a complete different thing here. So what happens when I add here, it goes to undeposited funds. And we have one more step in order to record this transaction. Now, let's go to the next one. So we're going to click on the transaction. You see that it's undeposited cash check here on the details, right? The type of payment and description will say the transaction is cash, or undeposited cash or check. Okay, so that's what you want to know. Now, the next step, when you add, like I said, it goes to undeposited funds. And to be able to get to undeposited funds, you're going to click on the plus new, and under other, you're going to click on bank deposit. That's where it's going to go. Now, when you send to undeposited funds, that money, that the sale is recorded, but the money is not deposited anywhere. It's just sitting on this bucket or this clearance account that is waiting to be deposited somewhere. Undeposited funds should be zero at the end of the day. Can't emphasize that enough. So it's money in, money out, money in, money out, money out, money out. Now, a few problems with undeposited funds is that a lot of users do not understand what is undeposited funds. And what they do is that sometimes when they see on the balance sheet that there is a astronomical amount of undeposited funds, they decide, especially, there's some CPAs, they don't understand the program, so they just do a journal entry to reverse the amount, and but they're not fixing it. Journal entry does not fix the problem. You actually need to click on bank deposit and fix it there. Okay. All right. So here are the transactions. There's only a few here, but if you have like pages and pages of undeposited funds, you need to clear them. And I have another video on how to clear undeposited funds. But the next step is to record this transaction into a petty cash account. There it is. So you're going to select the transaction. You want to make sure you select the transaction. Put the date of the sale, and you're going to send it to petty cash or cash on hand, whatever you call it. Okay, some people call petty cash, some people call cash on hand, and some people call it something else. Whatever it is where you manage your cash transactions. Okay, so now you're recording that you're depositing this money into a cash account. There's no this account is manually managed, so you're adding transactions manually, and then what happens after that? So the money's sitting in there until you record a transfer. When you actually pick up that money or check or whatever, and you take it to the bank and you deposit that money, then you're going to record a transfer from the cash account into the petty cash. By the way, I am going to go back a few slides. Okay. Nope. That's the next one. Okay. Here. All right. So you're going to go when you're recording these transactions into cash on hand, it goes and it's sitting down on undeposited funds ready for you to record into cash on hand, right? Okay, now after you pick up this money and you're gonna go to the bank and deposit in there, what you need to do is record a transfer. I wanted to show you this page so you can see under other, right below bank deposit, there is a transfer transaction. So you can click on transfer, and you're going to transfer money from the cash account. You're going to select from the cash account into the checking account, and you're going to put the date that you actually deposit this money and the exact amount that you deposit. Keep in mind that what you're writing, what you're recording here needs to match whatever happened in the bank. So this way, by clicking transfer is very simple. You don't have to do a journal entry, just a transfer. So from the cash account or petty cash into the checking account, exact amount, exact date that you deposited the money. Very important. So that's why I wanted to show you just where to record a transfer. Okay. All right. So here it is into the page where we record the cash being deposited into the cash or petty cash. So we select transaction, the date, and then we save and new. Okay. Once we save and new, it's gonna go to the cash account, and it's gonna show you as a deposit. Okay. So it was added to the petty cash account. If you go into the cash account, that's what you're gonna see. All right. Okay. Oh, here. Okay. So we are going to under the account register. So if you want to find this, you go on your left hand side menu. You want to click on accounting and then chart of accounts. You can go to your chart of accounts and click on under cash account or petty cash, whatever. You want to see transactions, so you can take a look at all the transactions recorded, and you're going to see exactly what happened in the cash account. Okay. All the deposit that we recorded, and if you need to record any expense, you can record an expense as well. Okay, so you just click on register. So you go to the click on accounting, and then click on chart of accounts, and then click on view register for the cash account. So you're going to see every single transaction that was manually recorded into the cash account. Money in, money out, as you can see here, right? All right. Okay, and from here, by the way, you can record some cash transactions as well. So if you pay tips, you can record it, a tip payment as well. You can do it with a journal entry, or you can do it as an expense out of the cash account. To record the expense, you click on the plus new expense, and you want to select the payment account as petty cash if this was paid with cash. Okay, and then you can select whatever you're paying. All right, so actually it's not over yet, so because I want to show you something else, so we're gonna go to QuickBooks Online and kind of navigate a little bit more, okay, navigate a little bit more into QuickBooks Online, okay, on undeposited funds. So this is our sample account, and I love to kind of guide you through. Of course, with the Square transaction, I can't because we don't have Square transactions in our Craig's Design and Landscaping sample account. There should be. Should be. Hey, Intuit, here, add that for us, okay? That will make our life so much easier. As you can see, they have the accounting view. You can switch to business view if you prefer, but we're going to go into we can go into transactions here and then app transactions, but here there's no app. So if there was Square integrated, all the transactions would be here, but not the case. And on the bank transactions, okay, when we record a transfer from the cash account, you will find a match as a transfer. I'm going to show you how to do it, how to work live here. So plus new transfer. So I recorded that money going to the cash account. So here I'm going to show you how it actually works. So we don't have a cash account on the sample account, so I can add new bank account cash on hand. That sounds good to me. And I'm going to record that I deposit some money into the checking account. Let's suppose that the exact amount of cash was $250, and I want to select the date. Let's say it happened on the 5th, and I'm going to save and close, or save and new. Okay, let me see. There's a few transactions there that I can. Okay, I'm duplicating the page. I love to work with multiple pages here. So I just X out of here. So I'm going to go into bank transactions here very quickly so I can go back and forth. See that? This is very useful. So I'm just going to look at an income here. Let's say that this $200 actually on the 21st. There you go. Was actually from cash. So I am going to put $200, and the date I'm going to put on the 21st instead of this one. Okay, perfect. So when I save and close, I can save and new. The only difference is that if I click on save and new, it's going to make me I'll have to click on the X afterwards. Okay, so as soon as I recorded that transfer, look at this. All right, it recorded over here, and I can just match. Now, remember we talked to you how to go into the cash register to see what actually happened here. So I'm going to match here. What I was talking about, left-hand side menu. Okay. Oh, by the way, sometimes it has changed here. So it has changed. So in this case, the chart of accounts will be under transactions right here. There's another way for you to get there as well. You can click on the plus menu and all list. Go to the chart of accounts here. So different ways to get there, right? Sometimes it says accounting, and then you can click there and select that. So different ways for us to get to the chart of accounts. All takes us to the same place right here. I see the cash on hand, and there was nothing else being deposited in there because this is the simple account. But if it was that account where I deposited that money, it would have been a positive amount. I'm going to just create a deposit here. Let's suppose that we created from that undeposited funds. Okay, we would have selected the transaction and deposit into cash. By the way, if I don't have a transaction to match here, I'm just gonna record it over here as a deposit, right? So I'm just gonna say that Amy's Bird Sanctuary, that it was services. I don't have an invoice, so I'm just gonna record it right here, and it was $200, and this $200 was cash, and I deposited into the cash on hand. So this is what we were doing on the slideshow, okay, except that there was no, there's no transaction being recorded. We don't have the app transactions coming into undeposited funds, but it's the same idea. Now when I click on view register here, so I am on the chart of accounts, cash on hand, view register, I'm going to see all transactions in from that account, and I'll be able to see the deposit. Usually it would say Square deposit over here, cash account, and then the payment into the checking account. So money in, money out. That's what happened to cash, right? Money in, money out. Hopefully more in than out, but but that's how it happens. All right. Okay, so this is our chart of accounts. So this is how we deal with undeposited funds, or I'm sorry, with cash transactions coming from Square, and also any kind of cash transaction that is recorded into undeposited funds. How to do it: you deposit into the cash on hand, and then you transfer those transactions into your checking account. So it's just by doing that, you're not duplicating your sales. Okay, the point is that you don't want to pay more taxes than what you need to. So that's why, and not just that, you want accurate numbers. You want to see what your real sales are. You don't want to have inflated numbers because you're not recording this correctly. So if you have sales sitting on undeposited funds here, and when you go into banking, okay, so let's go transaction, bank transaction. If those transactions, instead of being matched, you just add them, and then you have the undeposited funds sitting in there, you are duplicating your sales. And, as a result, you're probably overpaying taxes, and you're not having the right numbers. So you're probably thinking, listen, I'm looking at my profit and loss, and it says that I made all this money, but at the end of the day, it doesn't look like I made that much money. What's going on? Okay, the odds are probably you want to take a look, and obviously you want to reconcile your regular checking account, but you want to take a look at your undeposited funds to see if that money has been deposited, and to verify also if your sales transactions are being matched correctly, because if it says just added, most likely you're duplicating it because it's sitting on undeposited funds and it wasn't matched correctly. Okay, all right, enough of that. Okay, hopefully this was useful. Okay, now this is the end. This is the end of our presentation. So this is how you deal with cash transaction, cash income transaction from both Square and also other cash transaction recorded into your book. So you just record them into undeposited funds, and then you will record the deposit coming when you deposit into your checking account. You're going to record a transfer out of your cash account into your bank account, and make sure you match them, because if you don't match them and you add as sales when it should be just a transfer, you're duplicating your sales and you're paying more taxes than what you should, and your sales or your revenue is inflated. That number is inflated, and it's not used for anything. It's just just to create confusion that, probably thinking this is not how much I made. I need to make sure that I have the right number. And you need to know. You need to know. Because if you don't know, it's like walking in the dark. You have no idea how much money you're making or how much money you're spending. I have a lot of clients that record bills and then they don't match it. They don't record the payments. They don't match it, and then they're duplicating their income. They're duplicating their expenses as well. So make sure that if you're recording those sales receipts or invoices and payments, that you follow the workflow and that you match them accordingly here. So you always want to match to a deposit, not a payment, not an invoice, because if you match it to a payment, means you're sending the payment straight to your checking account. There are possibility when you're not actually matching transactions, because the amount might be a little off and you think that the numbers are okay. Unless you reconcile to verify that you have all kinds of duplication there, you will not know. So all right, so follow the workflow. If you have any questions, write down below. If you need further assistance catching up with your books, or if you need a one-on-one tutorial, we offer that as well. So we'll leave our contact down below, and you can contact us. You can hire us to give you a one-on-one tutorial on the subject to help you clean your books, or if you need any catch up, or if you need us to take care of your books because you want to focus on your business and making money. Hey, yeah, allow us to do what we do best, so that you can do what you do best, and we can maximize that revenue and make sure that your numbers are good to go. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. I absolutely love to spend this time with you, and I love to hear from you to see what you need help with. So write down below, and if you want us to continue coming with subjects like that, subscribe to our channel so that you can receive the update. We come every week. We want to continue doing that, and share with your friends, with your coworkers, everybody, and we want to help as many people as possible. So we're going to be back next week. Subscribe, return next week, and until next time, keep on smiling.